And welcome to Huckabee from the Fox News studios in New York City. Well, this week, a couple of 100,000 people are going to descend on Washington, D.C. in the annual March for Life. And if I hadn't just told you about it, you probably would have never heard about it. You know, let a dozen or so Occupy Wall Street protesters set up camp on the Washington Mall. It'll get full-throated attention on the nightly news and most likely make the front pages of the New York Times and Washington Post. 250,000 pro-life advocates will at best get a ho-hum brief mention, basically implying that a bunch of right-wing nuts are engaged in a war on women. And there's a better than even chance that the group is going to be labeled as anti-abortion, though it prefers and deserves the moniker of pro-life. If they are anti-abortion, does that make the opposition pro-abortion instead of pro-choice? It would appear that abortion advocates believe in choice, so long as the choice is to end the life of the baby. But if a mother chooses to be a mother and give birth, does that make her selfish, stupid, or enslaved? It doesn't help that some of the supposed rock stars of Republican consulting tell candidates not to even discuss issues like the sanctity of life, for fear of offending women voters. Now, what those GOP geniuses fail to recognize is that just because they can't defend the life position, it doesn't mean that some of us can't. The ridiculous claim that a pro-life position is a war on women is an insult to the millions of women who make extraordinary sacrifices for their children. For Democrats to reduce women to beggars for cheap government-funded birth control is demeaning to the women that I know, who are far more complicated than their libido and the management of their reproductive system. Women I know also have brains, and they use them creatively and effectively, and they can manage everything from a business to a household. Democrats pushing this war on women nonsense, well, they pretend that women are helpless and hopeless unless the government pays for abortion and birth control. Treating women as victims of their gender is outrageous, and that's the opposite of an appropriate respect for women as equal in worth as well as value as men. It's why I appreciate strong women like Sharon Foster, who heads an organization called Feminist for Life, or Marjorie Dannenfelser, the CEO of the Susan B. Anthony Fund. These are women who want no part of being miniaturized or marginalized as incapable of responsibility for their unique and noble abilities as women. They understand that real power for a woman is to give life, not to take it. The good news is that increasing numbers of younger women are decidedly pro-life, in part because believing that life has value from its origins is consistent with solid science, and in part because they recognize that devaluing any life is hardly the means to elevate women. For the timid, hand-wringing Republican consultants who are afraid to take a stand for life, look instead at the admirable example of RNC Chairman Reince Priebus, who this week will delay the convening of the RNC winter meeting so that National Committee members can participate in the March for Life. He's demonstrated that the best way to counter this Democrats' phony charge of a war on women is to lead in the war for women, all women, even the ones yet to be born.